What's up guys, Kai here. In this video I want to talk about one of my favourite Gundams of all time, the RX78NT-1 Gundam Alex. When people talk about Gundams, they don't usually talk about the Alex, and the reason that I wanted to make this video today is that I think the Gundam Alex deserves a little time in the spotlight, as I believe it is one of the most advanced Gundams ever made. Now let me clarify what I mean by most advanced. When I say it's one of the most advanced Gundams ever, I mean compared to what was available at the time and how long it took for everyone else to catch up. Technology advances very quickly in the universal century, and during times of war it speeds up even more. When it first came out, the original Zeon Zaku was the most advanced suit ever, and this kicked off the game of catch-up that both sides of the conflict played throughout the war. For the majority of the war, Zeon was in the lead, with its Zaku, and then later on the Zaku 2. But then the Federation answered back with its own mobile suit, the Gundam. The introduction of the Gundam to the battlefield kicked the arms race into overdrive as Zeon scrambled to match or possibly outdo the Gundam by any means necessary. By the war's end, the Zeon had developed two mobile suits which did outdo the Gundam's performance, the Gelgoog and the Zeong, or Jeong, or however the fuck you want to pronounce it. But at this point in the war, it was too late to make a difference, and there was far too few Gelgoogs produced and far too few good pilots to pilot them to make a real difference in the war, and the Federation was well on its way to victory. But there was one mobile suit that the Earth Federation made that was so advanced that if it actually made it to the battlefield, then the end battle of the 1 year war would have turned out differently. Still would have been a victory for the Federation, but less casualties. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The mobile suit in question is the RX78NT, short for New Type, 1 Gundam Alex. This mobile suit was made for Admiral Ray, the pilot of the original Gundam. It was made for Admiral, whose newly emerging new type powers were pushing the original Gundam far beyond its limits to the point where it was breaking down, and it was desperately needing replaced. The Earth Federation sadly was slow on taking the new type phenomenon seriously, and it wasn't until the war's last few months that they really started to develop mobile suits for new types to take advantage of. The Federation did not have access to Zeon's impressive Psychomu technology, which could provide the use of bits or wire-guided beam weapons, so instead they decided to make the Alex the most mobile suit ever. To achieve this, they outfitted the mobile suit with multiple thrusters around the Alex's body to maximise three-dimensional mobility. It had faster acceleration, a higher top speed, and a faster 180-degree turn time. It had a more powerful generator than the Gundam at 1420 kilowatts compared to the original Gundam's 1380 kilowatts. But these were just trivial natural advances that made the Alex better. The real things that made the Alex advanced were three pieces of new technology that would later become standard in every mobile suit for decades to come. The first of these was the magnetic coating that was applied to the armour's joints. This coating cut down the friction on the mobile suit's joints significantly and also sped up the suit's reaction speeds. This technology was later applied to Admiral's original Gundam on the White Base, which it desperately needed at this point. This also made the Alex difficult for old types, or normal people, to use due to the sudden increase in speed. It's the equivalent of someone playing a game on a very low sensitivity and then suddenly playing on max without being told. It's just too much for them to handle at once. The next big advancement was the 360-degree panoramic cockpit screen. Up to that point, mobile suit cockpits had 3 or 4 screens: front, left, right, and sometimes ceiling. The Alex changed this by having the pilot sit in a literal sphere of screens that would give them a full 360-degree view of the battlefield. This gave the Alex's pilot a major advantage over the other mobile suits in terms of visibility and target acquisition, and this new cockpit would not be seen again until at least 0083 and the RX78 GP03 Stamen, until it eventually became standard in every mobile suit by 0087, or during the start of Zeta Gundam. The third and final new technology piece was the Chobham armour. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'll just put it up on screen and you can read it as is. This was an external armour that would be placed over the Alex that would give it much more defensive capabilities. It was essentially a suit of armour for a mobile suit. This armour did have its drawbacks in that it would make the Alex heavier and therefore not as mobile as it could be. This Tropum armour would later be utilised on the GM Cannon II in 0083. Historically, the Alex is the first Gundam variation seen in animation way back in 1989. Since then we've had a ton of variations of the original Gundam, such as the Gundams showcased in Stardust Memory, the mass-produced Gundam type seen in 8th MS Team, and more recently the full armoured Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. But the Alex was the first so-called variation, so the design of the suit had to fit in somewhere between the original Gundam and the Gundam Mark II, and you can kind of see that they achieved that, at least in my opinion, with the colour scheme and the sort of boosters on the legs, and even in the shield design. The Alex appears sporadically throughout its series in various forms of construction, but it makes its full debut in episode 4 of War in the Pocket, where it battles the Campfire, which is a rather short battle. It isn't until episode 6 that we see it have a proper fight, and in the context of the show it is a tense fight, but in terms of mobile suit battles it isn't very flashy. The Alex doesn't even use its beam rifle or shield, only its forearm mounted machine guns and beam sabers. Unfortunately, due to the events in War in the Pocket, the Alex was never delivered to the White Base for Admiral to use due to the damage it had sustained in battle, and by the time it was repaired the war was over and the Alex never saw a true battlefield, and therefore its full potential was never seen. We can only speculate how the Alex would have performed if Admiral got his hands on it. Had the Earth Federation took new types seriously and started to develop this suit much earlier and gave it to Admiral by, let's say, Jaburo, then I think things would have turned out drastically different, as I do think Char would have died, which would have drastically changed the Universal Century forever. The Gundam Alex is one of my favourite Gundams in the entire franchise, and it is the first mobile suit that I wanted to talk about in a video. Most people might not know about the Alex since it hasn't appeared in a main series, it only appeared in an OVA, War in the Pocket, but it's still a fantastic Gundam. If you haven't seen War in the Pocket and are a Gundam fan, then I highly recommend it. It's only 6 episodes, and it has a fantastic story as well as one of my favourite non-Gundam mobile suits, the Campfire, a suit that I will hopefully talk about later. So I hope you enjoyed this mobile suit spotlight. If so, please like and subscribe to support the channel, and tell me down in the comments what mobile suit you would like to see get a spotlight video. Just trying something new with this. I like Gundam and I want to talk about it in sort of a way that I want to. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.